Hello and welcome to a new lesson on the regular audit of SSH access log task. In this task, we will explore SSH logs for auditing purposes and learn how to secure SSH based on our findings in the logs. Let's begin our lesson by explaining the Vagrant file we will use to launch a Rocky Linux 9 virtual machine for practice. This Vagrant file will provision a Rocky Linux 9 virtual machine. The most important part here is the shell commands Vagrant executes on the virtual machine. These commands change the root password to root password ! and add a new user named test to the system with the password ! Additionally, I will enable root user access for SSH and enable password authentication. To provision our virtual machine for this lesson using Vagrant, execute the Vagrant up command. Let's execute the command Vagrant up. It may take a few minutes to finish provisioning the virtual machine, so I will pause the video and return once it's done. I'm back, and as you can see, Vagrant has finished provisioning the virtual machine. To access the virtual machine's SSH, let's type Vagrant SSH. Now I am connected to the Lab2 virtual machine via SSH. Let's change the font colors by pasting the following command and press enter. Remember, I configured SSH on this virtual machine to allow root access, and I have changed the root password to root password ! Let's test a failed login from the user root. Now let me open another terminal and let's type SSH -p2224, then the user root at then my Windows machine IP, which is 192.168.0.223. Now let's press enter and let's type yes. I will provide a wrong password for the user root multiple times, resulting in a permission denied error message. Now, let me try to connect with the correct password. So, I will execute the command SSH -p2224 root at 192.168.0.223. So, I will execute the same command again. Now press enter. And this time I will provide the correct password. As you can see, I managed to connect to SSH with the correct password. A notification indicates that the last failed login was from the 10.0.2.2 IP with 3 failed login attempts. Such information might indicate a brute force attack attempt. When you see a number of failed logins, you should investigate, which we will do in this lesson. In the Red Hat family, SSH related logs are located in var log secure. Let's read this file by executing sudo cat. If you scroll up, you will find information about any failed SSH login attempts. The logs also indicate that the password for the root user was accepted from the 10.0.2.2 IP, which previously had failed attempts. This could be a normal failure from a user who misspelled their password, or it could indicate that someone managed to guess the root password. In such a situation, you should investigate further, change the root password immediately, and block the IP if it is found to be malicious. Moving on, let's use the last log command to display the last login information for all users on the system. So let's execute last log. Now press enter. As you see from the shown output, you can see information about the username of the user account, the terminal or interface through which the user logged in, the host name or IP address from which the user logged in, and the date and time of the last login. The last log command helps in auditing SSH access, providing information about all users, their login times, and login IPs. If you find system or service users like mail or SSHD logged into SSH, it indicates a compromised system, as these users should have no SSH login capabilities. Let's execute two commands to illustrate my point. The first command is cat/etc password, then grep sshd. And the second command is the same command, but this time we will grep test user. For the SSHD user, it's configured by default with the /sbin/no login shell, which prevents user login, a common security measure for system accounts. For the user test, we can see that it has shell access. If a system user has managed to log into SSH, it's a serious issue. When we read the secure log file, we find a lot of information that might not be relevant to our audit. Let's execute some commands to filter the result. Our first command is sudo grep -i failed /var/log/secure. This command searches for any failed log entries. As you see from the output, failed password for root from 10.0.2.2 for the SSH. Our second command is sudo grep ssh /var/log/secure, which filters messages containing the word SSH. As you see from the output, I will get all entries with the SSH word, and from it I can see that there is a failed password for root from 10.0.2.2 IP and also accepted password for root from 10.0.2.2. Now let's type sudo grep -i failed password /var/log/secure, which focuses on failed password entries. And as you can see, from the shown output, I only got the failed password entries from the secure log. Now let's execute the sudo awk $6 /sshd/ between single quotations, then /var/log/secure. This command will display all lines from the /var/log/secure file where the 6th field contains a string SSHD. This is typically used to filter log entries related to the secure shell daemon, such as attempts to connect to the SSH server, both successful and unsuccessful. This can be important for security auditing, checking for unauthorized access attempts, and general SSH server monitoring. Now let's press enter. And as you can see, I have authentication failure here for user root from the remote host 10.0.2.2. For more specific information like failed password login attempts, IPs, and dates, let's execute sudo grep failed password /var/log/secure. Then I will use the awk command to print fields number 1, 2, 3, 6, and 11. Let's press enter. And as you can see, I got the information I need, which are the IP and dates. So this command filters the secure log for failed password attempts and displays relevant details such as the IP and the date. This concludes our lesson. I hope you now understand the importance of auditing SSH logs for security. In the next lesson, we will learn how to secure our SSH configurations based on our findings. Thank you for watching and see you in the next lesson.